Mortal Kombat 2 is here, and we've been waiting for 5 long years. And the question is, does it live up to the expectation? And most importantly, to my expectation, because my expectations were very high. Before we start, welcome to Keep It Frank Live, where I give you my real takes, no sugarcoating, only straight up opinions on movies, Hollywood news. So if you're into real talk, go ahead and subscribe, and let's keep it frank together. Okay, so what I have to say about this film is that I highly enjoyed myself, but there is a lot of things about the film that they're flawed. This is not a flawless victory. It's very much a flawed victory, and that's what it is. It's a victory which is flawed. But let's first start with Hollywood and movies based on games, because when we understand that, we will understand how we got the movie that we got. So back in the 90s, when games were becoming a little bit more of a popular thing, Hollywood started making movies based and adapted from games. Mortal Kombat was one of those movies. And most of those movies flopped hard, and if they made any sort of profit, they were not received well by audiences or by critics. They were completely destroyed. Mortal Kombat 1, however, was the only one that really felt like a movie. It felt like it had something to say, and fans and people who were not fans of the game really enjoyed that movie. And back then, a distinction that we must make compared to today is that back then Hollywood, the way it worked is they were investing in movies and putting a lot of money. So they are expecting their returns to be big. They are expecting that they're gonna get a good box office to make as much as possible. And the only way you would do that is by making a film that is going to attract everybody, fans of the games and non-fans of the games. Everybody has to be interested in the movie in order to make money. That's why the movies from back then were not really accurate to the source material. Now, you jump forward to where we are today in 2026. We have had 15 plus years of movies now based on superheroes and on comics. And the way that these movies have done really well is because they have listened to the fans of comics and they have been closer to the source material, from costumes, from the storylines, from the characters and how they are built. And because of that, the movies have been extremely successful. So now when you have a movie like Mortal Kombat in 2021 that came out, they were sort of being true to the source material. However, they made some changes because they were afraid. They were hesitant that people who don't know the games or don't play the games might not be willing to go to see a movie where they are going to feel left out of the party, right? However, that backfired on them a little bit, because the fans, even though they enjoyed the movie, and I'm included in that group, we did not like a few of the changes that they made in the movie in 2021. One of them being having Cole Young as a main character. Who the fuck was that guy? We don't know. We didn't like it. We also didn't like certain other aspects of the film. One of them not having Johnny Cage. But anyways, now 5 years later, we're getting part 2, Mortal Kombat 2, and we are now getting a movie based on the tournament, which the last one did not have. Which means they listen to us, right? Every single thing that we complain about, these filmmakers, they heard us and they made the changes, and I really applaud them for that. So now in this movie, in 2026, we get Mortal Kombat 2. We have Johnny Cage, we have the whole crew, we have Karl Urban playing Johnny Cage now, right? And he's gonna be the main character from what we saw in the trailers. And this movie is gonna follow the tournament. So now we have the movie that we want. So the question is, was it good? So yes, the movie was very good and very entertaining. I will admit that by midpoint in the film, I got nervous that I was not gonna like it, because the first half of the film was moving so quickly and it was paced and edited so badly, very choppy, that it was going from scene to scene with horrible dialogue that I was cringing so much that I was getting nervous. But once they got to the tournament,
the fights started happening and kind of things started coming together, the little bit of story that we got, I started enjoying myself because I started noticing that all of the boxes that we had told them, you better check these for the next film, they started to check them, okay? So for example, better fights, better fatalities, all of the characters really seemed from the games, like they were like right out of the game into the screen, and I loved that. Kitana was perfect in my opinion. Kung Lao looked amazing this time. Liu Kang, obviously he was great. Sonya Blade really leveled up a little bit more for me in this film. Shao Kahn, he was a force to be reckoned with. I felt that he was an incredible villain. I really liked how he came off in the film. There were certain things that I was really happy with. What I didn't like about the film is that, and this is going to be being a little bit picky because we got a lot of the things that we wanted, is the lack of story. There was almost no story. It was moving pretty quickly from, you know, fight to fight and scene to scene, and not a lot of things were kind of like, you know, being explained very well. But there was a lack of story, and that's fine. I want to take it because everything else seemed to go where I wanted it to go. The world that they were building really seemed more like the games now. The characters really seemed more like the game now. The story that they were using with the amulets and the things that they were saying that they can do with the story started to seem more like the game now. So all of those things really started exciting me because I want this story to become Avengers level. In my opinion, Mortal Kombat, especially since like the last 10 years of games, all of these stories that they have given us in the games have the potential to have a Mortal Kombat Avengers Endgame level movie. It could be that big when it comes to fights and actions and epicness and the cinematic level of what they could do with the story. This film did not feel yet like what I envisioned this franchise to be at a movie level, but it is getting there. So I'm happy with what they did and where they are going. Now, they did announce that Mortal Kombat 3 will be made. Yes, I'm excited. I like the way the movie ended. I liked where some of the characters finished off, because now I can see where they're going because we know the stories in the games. I really hope that now for part 3, they go back to the drawing board, they look at the stories from the games and start putting the pieces together a little bit better and give us a full story. Because when you play Mortal Kombat nowadays, more than in the 90s, you play it, yes, for the fights and the fatalities and all those cool things. But the story, the cutscenes are so good nowadays that I feel like the movies could be like that. So I want the story to become that epic of a story in a cinematic level and go from there. So that's what I'm hoping for part 3. So when it comes to this movie, you guys need to go see it so it keeps making more money, so it keeps becoming bigger and bigger. The franchise has so much potential. So go support it. It's a fun movie. It's not perfect, but if you're a fan of the games, trust me, you're gonna love it. Now, I do have a few things that I want to talk about. And this is a little bit spoilery, right? So I want to talk about the characters. Johnny Cage, Karl Urban, did he live up to what he needed to do? Honestly, no. I hated it. I like Karl Urban a lot. I like him on The Boys, but this was not the Johnny Cage that I wanted. It's not the Johnny Cage that I think any of us want. Even old Johnny Cage from the Mortal Kombat X game was still much better than this. He couldn't even do the fight scenes. He looked so bad, and Johnny's supposed to be a really cool fighter, and his fights just seemed so lame. Not even the stunt and the stunt double that they used or the way they shot the fights made Johnny look cool. I was really disappointed. Even the way he brought Johnny Cage to life doesn't feel to me like Johnny Cage. He just felt like Butcher from The Boys. So he's a little bit of a miscast for me. I'll still take it because I like Karl so much, but it wasn't what I wanted. Then we have Kitana. She was one of the best, if not the best in the film. She was pitch perfect, what I was hoping they would do with Kitana. That's my favorite character. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always played with the female characters in every game that I've ever played. and Kitana has always been my favorite. So the way they used her in the film was great. She definitely was the heart of the film. The story that they were building around her made sense. It was pretty much from the game, and I really like the way this actress in particular brought her to life. She was feminine, she was sexy, but she was dangerous, she was tough at the same time, and she felt like a princess that is going to become a queen. Like, I really like the energy and the presence that this actress brought. It was perfecto. The one thing that I didn't like about Kitana is that when she entered the tournament, she had never trained with her fans. So how the hell in the tournament, all of a sudden, she has all these really cool tricks and can do all of these things when she's never used fans before? So that was a little bit silly to me, but hey, I'll take it. It was still excellent the way she was used. And then that brings me to Cole Young. Man, we did him dirty. We did him so dirty, but I was right. From the last video that I told you guys from the trailer breakdown that I did, it looked like he was going to die, and I was right. And the way they did it, even though it was really fucking awesome, not only did he get killed, I mean, he got killed in 2 gruesome ways. I loved it. I thought it was a great fight. I thought he held his own. I actually liked him in that fight. He fought so good. He would have killed Shao Kahn if Shao Kahn didn't have the amulet and Raiden's, powers to, be immortal. But I did feel bad that because of us, he died and he's gone. The question is, will they bring him back now in a future movie? Because they have the amulet, they can travel in time, or will he be back as a revenant, or maybe, as the rumors are saying, as another character, perhaps Kenshi? What could they do with that? I don't know, but I don't know how they're going to bring him back when he was thrown into the acid. He is gone, like he's literally gone, so let's see what happens. But anyway, guys, that is my review of Mortal Kombat 2. I was really happy with the film. I have so much fun. My next video is going to be coming up next, where I'm going to rank all of the different characters of the film. So please wait for that. Again, go watch the film. I have so much fun. And remember, I like to keep it frank, so let's always keep it frank together. See you next time.